some kind of butterfly. Baby, you give me midnight.
Oh, baby, you give me some ice and fire. It is, sorry about that. Name of the song is Ice and Fire from King Canyon. What's up, dudes and dudesettes? Let me write this down. Ice and Fire by King Canyon. Yeah, there we go. Willie's hanging out with us and says, morning from Ontario, Canada. Well, good morning to you from super soaked South Carolina. We had drenching rains here the last 36 hours, flooding all over the place. The backyard looks like a nasty, muddy swimming pool, but whatever. We're here to talk about CPI data. Oh, maybe some Brooks running shoes. You know, we're just going to see what happens today. But we're going to be talking CPI data as we need something juicy. We need something super low. Ideally, oh my gosh, do we need something 2.5 or less? Seriously, I think even the market right now would be happy with 2.8. Seriously, I do. I think 2.8 would keep us in the green for a long time. Anything lower than that would keep us greener than green for even longer. XRP King Duck, love the name, says, morning, Klaus, morning back to you. I've got my feedback system on over there, got the monitors rolling up on here, and I've got you with me right there. Got a lot to talk about today along with your questions. How about this? Britain is almost going bankrupt. Prime Minister Starmer will be the final nail in the nation's coffin. Oh, man. Okay, so you got the UK facing some financial issues. Well, guess what you have in the United States? The United States Senate passes a $95.3 billion package for the Ukraine and Israel. Let's just fucking spend money all over the fucking place and not even worry if we could pay our bills. Trick is hanging out with us today. What's up, Trick? How are you doing this morning? Not sure if you caught it, sir, but we're talking about a lot of spending going on right now. Spending by governments such as Britain and the United States. We need to give more money to the Ukraine and Israel. We need more money. We need to spend more money so they can destroy more stuff, so we can spend more money to fix it. Well, how about we don't break shit to begin with, and then we won't have to spend as much to fix this shit? Oh, God, man. Rudy Pooh's hanging out with us. Captain Flatastic is hanging out in the hood as well. Make sure you all hit that like button. It helps these streams kind of go out there further. Now, what is the big news that we're talking about today? CPI data. Why is CPI data so big? Well, because some of our favorite cryptos out here moon when money is cheap, and that follows CPI data, because the better CPI data is, the cheaper money is. And when money is cheaper, what happens, everyone? Things like XLM and XRP can actually move. Now, speaking of moving, are you paying attention to ETH making yet another freaking run? Another one, man. This is crazy. I had a fairly substantial ETH position here just a few weeks ago, and my goal was to peg ETH at 3, and I had my stop loss at 25. I liquidated some of it right around 28.50, a little bit more at like 26, and then I got the rest of it out just above 25, and then ETH comes back one more time. Speaking of good fans in the house, Simone Spencer hangs out with us. Says, good morning, Klaus. Good morning back to you, Simone. Let's take a broad look across the market, and then we're going to start talking more about CPI data, government crappy spending, and projects that just suck major busies, man. All right. Bitcoin sitting at 49,908. I got tons of text messages and emails yesterday saying, brosif, BTC is going to hit 50. ETH 2677. Sol up 8.6% last 24 hours. Sol appears to be making yet another move at $113. XRP starting to put it in the same conversation as other laggards out there, including XLM. Phantom Beat hops in and says, finally caught you live. Well, Phantom Beat, thank you, and thank you everyone else for catching the live stream. XRP sitting at 52.8. Now, XLM has been moving the least out of everything we've been tracking on this channel, sitting at 11.2. Now, H-bar a little bit more, sitting at 8 cents right there. Atom making a move. Look at that, up almost 7% stack. Same thing, 8.19% up in the last 24 hours. Matic making a 6% run to 87 cents, while Avalanche a 5% run at $40.83. Now, I wanted to share with you a comment, okay? This is pretty interesting. First one is Mr. Rolos Can 66.99 says nothing has happened. Well, that's because the data release didn't come out yet. Come on now, everyone. Come on now. You got to wait for the data to come out, and the data comes out in 24 minutes. So we got time to hang out, and then we're going to break down CPI data deep dive action, and ideally what we're looking for. 2.7, 2.8 at the highest. That is what we need at the highest. If we get something like 3.2, 3.3, 3.4, where we're really not doing much on the way down, it ain't going to be good. Jerome Powell will leave rates higher for longer. And in fact, part of the optimism that was priced into the market has to do with the CME group data for you, and I will get that. Give me 1 second here. And that's because it appears that we are bouncing back more and more to the May contract. Now let's take a look at these contract odds, okay? Right now, we got an 84.5% chance that they're going to take a pause, all right? That's pretty high. Now, what's amazing about that is a month ago, you had more chance. 1 month ago, you only had 19% of people out there believing we would be paused. But what happened was you had Jerome Powell coming out, you had other central bank biggies out there, you also had other global central bank biggies out there, and they were like, I don't know, man, we're going to have to leave stuff up higher for longer. Oof. Okay, so then what happens is we start now looking at the May contract. March, I thought, was a bit optimistic. The May contract, though, is providing us juice. May contract right now has a 50% chance of getting a reduction. Once we start seeing the Fed turning down rates, okay, that is a good sign. And that will allow the majority of the crypto market to move further on up. And, sorry, my throat is giving me a little trouble today. Ben swinging by, dropping some support on the channel. Everyone, give Ben a big, big thank you for that. Ben says, hey, Klaus, I hope you are well. I'm doing pretty good, man. I'm a little worn out from training recently. Yesterday was a recovery day. I did not recover that good because I'm just not feeling good. I've been cooking it pretty hard here lately, so I kind of need a little bit more time just to chill out. But otherwise, yeah, things have been going really well, Ben. So everyone give Ben a big thank you for the support of the channel. I greatly appreciate it. But we're thinking here, look, we need CPI data to be very, very low. Honestly, we need it in the 2s, man. Like, for real. We need CPI data in the 2s. Okay, if we have another, like, 3.2, 3.4, something like that, Jerome Powell is going to keep rates even higher. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be looking at the data here, okay? And I'm going to be looking to see, okay, well, wait a minute. After we get CPI data today, are we pivoting more to the May contract, or do we get some relief in March? If we get good juice, okay, we get good juice today. I'm talking about low juicy booty. Talking about something in the 2s, 2.7, 2.8 at the highest, man. 2.8 at the highest, we are going to be good to go. But if we're still rolling up in like the 3.2s, 3.3s, he's going to keep the rates up higher for longer. And that's when we're going to start eyeing even more so the May contract. The last thing all of us want that are watching right now. And if you want, you can check this out. This is CME Group. This is their rates thing. And thank you, Trick, for giving Ben the big thank you. I appreciate that. What the last thing we want to see is this bar here on the far right grow, and that is the pause for rates on the May contract. You do not want that. If we pause all the way through to May, it could get pretty messy, all right? You don't want money to stay expensive that long. Now, the fear that I have has to do with housing. If housing stays up, central banks across the globe are going to be like, yo, we need to do whatever we can to frickin' fix this. So if housing and rent and all that shit stays up way too high, you're going to have rates stay high for longer. It's just housing. We just need to fix housing. And that's why I wanted to bring up these couple articles, all right? Britain is almost bankrupt. Prime Minister Starmer will be the final nail in the country's coffin. You got that, okay? So you got some spending issues over there across the pond. We get what happens because guess what? In the United States, we have spending issues too. Why? We're giving money to freaking Ukraine and Israel like drunken sailors. Senate passes a $95.3 billion Ukraine and Israel aid package. Well, you know what? When can we start doing things to help the infrastructure here in the United States? And I've seen it with the UK too. The UK is spending a lot of money outside of its borders while there's massive problems happening inside its borders. So what freaking sense does it make that we're putting ourselves in a deeper financial hole? We're adding to the inflation, okay? And that's why I brought up these two stories, okay? When the Senate passes this bill to give more money to the Ukraine and Israel, you're just adding to the debt. And when you add to the debt, we know what happens to inflationary stuff. And when inflation goes up and rates start going up because they jack it up to fix the high rates, that pushes a lot of this down. Now, some of you out there, I know, are a little bit upset with the recent moves of XRP and XLM. And I got to admit it to you, they have been laggards. They have most definitely been laggards. What really gets me about the whole thing is more and more I am seeing people upset with the performance of XRP here. And in fact, right, if let's just take a look at the last 3 months. Last 3 months have been dismal to say the least. And I think that's where people here are starting to get more and more upset. They're going, you know what? We're seeing BTC run to 50,000. We're seeing ETH claw back to near 27. We're watching Sol hit $113. What about ICP? $13.18. I mean, you got some players out there that are making big moves to the upside, and yet some of our favorites still aren't moving. Now, the problem we got, all right, is that our governments are spending money. And not responsibly either, okay? So because they're spending all this money, this is what's putting us in this gap. This is what's going to push this gap out even longer. Vlad Pawnstar says, looks like we would want rates to stay the same. Rate cuts mark bad time ahead historically. The thing though, Vlad, is if we get lower rates, that will allow VC funding to come in. You need venture capital funding in crypto to keep development going. VC funding is what's keeping crypto, or what was keeping crypto alive. Lower rates means that funding is cheaper. When funding is cheaper, more people can fund risky projects. Ben says, I sold a lot of XLM and spread bets more. The big name here now is Caspa or Render. Well done, Ben. And that's the thing too, is diversification is definitely big. Why? Because there's some outliers out there that are making some really, really big moves. And here you go, Ben. I got Render up on the screen. So Ben's in the green right now, up 12% with Render right above $5. Soon Crypto says, until the settlement, XRP will be a laggard. There is no settlement. I don't know where anyone is getting that news from. There is no settlement. The only thing we have left in this case is to determine the primary sales penalty for institutional sales. And guess what? we're not going to settle. Why are we not going to settle? Because Gary Gensler and the SEC just recently won a motion so that Ripple has to provide their 2022-2023 financial documents. They're not going to request documents for 2022 and 2023 to settle. That's not what they're doing. They're asking for those documents to make sure that Ripple complied and to see what financial effect there has been. Jimbo Tango, again, more support from across the pond. Oh my gosh, between Jimbo Tango, Ben, and Trick, we've got like an all across the pond crew going on in the house today. Jimbo Tango supports the channel. Oh, sorry, I was right in the mark. Sorry about that, everyone. Was right there supporting the channel. Thank you very much, Jimbo Tango. Everyone give Jimbo and Ben a big thank you for the support of the channel. So when we start talking about that with XRP, look, there is no settlement. The SEC is not settling. Like, there is no settlement. Why? They want death, man. The SEC wants that. What? SEC Ripple financial reports. Let's see if that pops up right away. See, look, Ripple must share financial statements requested by the SEC, and the court upheld that. All right, SEC scores a win as Ripple ordered to share financial statements with the regulator. They're not settling. I don't know where everyone is coming up with this settlement stuff. Dude, the SEC is going for the jugular. Ben says we are very loyal. Ben, I appreciate it. Seriously, a lot of the support from the channel is from across the pond. I know that's really weird, but a lot of us are in similar financial situations, and I think a lot of us are in similar frustrations, right? We both got governments that really aren't spending our money the best. Ben, you and I have talked about this for years, about housing just being a mess. Well, guess what? It's still not better. I remember you and I talking about housing, there was an email and we were talking about like the next 6 months, maybe it's going to like break free and maybe rents will start coming down. Well, here we are, Ben. We're like 2-3 years later and we're like, soon crypto, don't say settlement of the case. You want finalization of the case. Very, very different. The SEC is not going to settle. They're looking for finalization by primary penalty sales. Now, if you really want to know how primary sale penalties are going to be determined, are you ready for this? It's going to be done by a jury of peers. Big problem we got here in the United States. The majority of the United States could care less about crypto. Seriously, they really could care. Politicians could care less of crypto. Yeah, thank you, Soon Crypto. I'm glad you got that. I always hear people say settlement, and I'm thinking, no, the SEC is not going to settle. Trust me, they're trying to finalize it. But what we're worried about here is that I think a lot of us are thinking, you know what? We're not getting the breaks in housing. You know what? We're not getting support from the government. You know what? We could have dealt with inflation way higher. And I did a video for all my friends across the pond. I did a video, and the video I did had to do with UK's inflation rates and UK housing problems. And the article I did was a huge shortage on UK housing, along with not only the shortage of housing, but the extreme rates for rent and the extreme rates for home purchasing. So, I mean, we're sitting here both with our governments and spending just out of control, and housing is just biting us in the butt. And that's why they've kept rates so high, because that's the only really thing that has not broke yet, which is housing. Syrian Marshall dropped some support in the channel. Well, thank you very much, Syrian. Another fan from across the pond. And Trick dropping support as well. So everyone, please give Syrian, Trick, Ben, and Jimbo all a big thank you for their support from across the pond. I greatly appreciate it, everyone. Trick says, thanks for being you. I appreciate that, sir. I get kind of put down every once in a while for being me because I'm not your typical, we're going to go to the moon every 30 seconds guy. I try to give you some data, some stats, and how to use the stats. Syrian says, thank you for your research, Klaus. With respect from across the pond, Great Britain. I seriously thankful for all the fans. Now, we got 11 minutes until CPI data comes out. And one of the things I also wanted to share with everyone here is that I know I say this in every stream, but every stream, remember, we get new people watching. We get first-time streamers coming in, and we get people that are first-time coming in and hanging out with us in the chat. And for real, this is probably the best chat group I've seen out of any crypto channel, like by far. It's not all filled with all this Hopium, Moonboy crap. There's people asking legit questions. I know Simone's going to ask me a good question. I already know it. I already know Simone is going to go knock it out of the park, and she's going to ask you a good question. But what we need to focus on is making sure that we're taking a realistic approach to the market and to the data that's being presented to us. A lot of people were told, you know what? Oh, too damn dangerous, says Holland here, just tuned in. Any news? It comes out in about 11 minutes of CPI data. Reverend is hanging out with us. The Reverend is coming. Morning, everyone. Hello to you, Rev. Nothing yet. Thank you, Trick. But I think a lot of us out here, we're like, you know what? Like, whoa. Like, whoa, whoa, whoa. We thought Sol was going to get annihilated because of how big the holdings were with Alameda Research. Then we find out that all that has been done quite nicely where they haven't affected the price. And Sol was one of them that was able to come out. Ben's talking about Caspa right here, sitting at 13.9. Ben says, Klaus, take a look at Caspa. Worth the look while it's still low. Ashley saying, hello, Klaus, and everyone. Let's zoom in on that Caspa rank right here. Let's get some chart action up on the screen. Okay. So, Ben, if you got in, as long as you were in early part of February, you were doing pretty good. Let's look at the year on Caspa. And that's not a good looking chart. We don't want that. I'm gonna have to pull market cap off on this one. And what we're gonna do, we're gonna go in here, we're gonna switch this one up, we're gonna come up here, and we're gonna put Caspa in. Give me a second here. So we're gonna go KAS, we're gonna find KAS USD, swap it out. Let's go to the 1 year. That's the 1 year for Casper. Wow. So yeah, and that Ben, seriously, this is why I like the commenters so much, and this is why I like the fans. Ben's saying, look at Caspa, look at how low it is. All right, cool. Now check it out. What Ben is talking about is this big move since October. And again, compare it to things that have been shoveled down our throat, right? Compare it to XLM and watch what happens. Yeah, that's that big flat blue line right down here. XLM not moving at all. Let's compare it to one of the other big ones out there. And this is what Ben's talking about is diversification. We've been big on that here. Look at. So you got Caspa rocking it, but XLM and XRP laggards again. Very, very well. Syrian says, people say tomorrow it could be juicier. You know, you're going to see this. The only thing I think that could make it juicy is if we get a report super, super low, man. Oh my gosh. I hope we get a report that's super low. You also got automated market makers with XRP. Remember, Stellar has automated market makers, didn't do shit for the price. I'm just being real with everyone. I'm not trying to hurt feelings or nothing like that. It's just not. That's just the truth, all right? I know there's a lot of people that get upset when I bring the truth, but I bring the truth whether it's good or bad. Willie says, I bought 5 years ago for the tech and utility. XRP as a future bridge currency. Yeah, you can use XRP as a bridge currency, but how many people are using XRP as a bridge currency? And that's kind of the thing that we've learned here is that in crypto, you gotta move fast, okay? So let's pretend, let's just go in the Wayback Machine, okay? Just a little bit, okay? Let's go back a few years. Let's go back 5-6 years ago. XRP, XLM coming on the scene. They're like, yo, cross-border payments. We're helping the unbanked, the unbanked and underbanked, my bad. We're gonna work on cross-border settlements because it takes a while and all that. Well, that's all and good, and that's awesome. But the problem is other people stepped into the market, and they're looking at it going, well, wait a minute. We could help the and underbanked. Wait a minute. We can move money really cheaply here. Wait a minute. We could... And that's exactly what happened. So the big problem we had was we had these two companies with some really good tech, but they didn't get adoption of the tech fast enough. And since they didn't get it fast enough, other players came in the space and started taking market share. Now, what about FedNow? That's one of the competitors, right? FedNow is about moving money. Moving money 24/7, right? That's the whole idea of FedNow. Doesn't that sound a lot like our cryptos? Now, once more banks go with ISO standard, which again has nothing to do with crypto, these banks can connect to each other and FedNow can go even further. So what happens is if you have an opportunity in a market, right, like moving money cheaply or helping the un and underbanked, competitors will come in, competitors that are learning from the mistakes of others, and they will come in and they will start absorbing more and more of that market. And that's what you're seeing right now with XRP and XLM specifically. The competitors of those two are gaining more and more traction. Meanwhile, we're trying to wait for the traction for XRP and XLM to happen, and it's not. I mean, look at XLM, 11.2 cents. All right, 11.2. I mean, look at the sideways action. We've basically been sitting at the same price-wise for XLM almost 2 years now. Jeff's saying stronghold. A lot of people are saying stronghold. I'm seeing that out there. Rudy Poo says majority of the BTC holders are in green, majority of the XP holders in red. Very, very well said, Rudy Poo. The story I did was 90% of BTC holders were in the green at, I thought it was 49, 48,000, somewhere around in there, like 90% of them. That's a big number. Conversely, with XRP, you're not seeing that. It's just been too much downward price pressure. We haven't held the Taurus pump. We didn't hold the BTC ETF pump. And you can see when it comes to time frame wise here, look at this. We're all the way back in May. We're all the way back at Luna UST time. That's what happened right here. This is Luna UST time. We've erased the clock all the way back to May of 2022. Oh, man. Syrian says, hasn't been a proper alt run yet. I'm diversifying. I think that's one of the things, too, is what if this alt run is only in a few, not the entire alt market? And that's where Ben is making the smart move. That's where Syrian's making the smart move, saying, I am diversifying. Simone's coming in, and I knew it. I haven't read the question yet, Simone, but I saw your name, and I've got a feeling it's going to be a good one. So let's go with Simone said. Simone says, I think my main forward-looking question is about how the commercial real estate market and regional banks will affect the crypto market. Awesome, Simone. You know why that's awesome? Because regional banks are having yet more softness pop up. One of the ways that banks make a lot of their money is by loans, right? Loan origination, creation, and then packaging it and selling it off. Well, if there's no houses on the market, we're not doing what, everyone? We're not doing home loans. If rates are high and people don't want to spend high rate money, guess what they're doing? They're not buying homes. What about cars? Car rates are high too. Banks make money on auto loans. So they're losing income on loan income that's coming in because not as many loans are happening. Credit standards are also tightening up. Now, regional banks, okay? The regional banks that are going to have trouble are going to be the regional banks where they have lots of commercial real estate debt, which is not good. And Simone brought that up as well. Why is commercial real estate so down? Well, there's a ton of it, Simone. Anywhere you go right now, you're going to see a whole bunch of vacant buildings while they're building more buildings, which makes no sense, right? So we go back to the supply and demand. So now you're just dumping tons and tons of supply of commercial real estate on the market, and the demand isn't there. See, the reason the demand isn't there has to do with, hold on a second, I'll bring it up. I got your back, Simone. That's because I know you asked some very good questions. The reason the development isn't there so much with commercial real estate is because of how expensive money is. And this is what I'm talking about, okay? You can grow a company. You can grow a business. You can grow a crypto when money is super cheap. You see this right here? Look at this. From April of 2020 all the way to February of 2022, Fed fund rate was near zero. That means if you wanted to get loans, business expansion, home loans, car loans, credit cards, all that stuff was super cheap. But now look what happens, right? Now they start pumping up the base rates. And this is not just the United States. This is all over the frickin' place, okay? And so what happens is, now that rates go up, you're starting to see like the choking of available money for this development. Can you develop now? Can you expand now? Yes, you can. But look at how much more it's costing you versus just a couple years ago. So a lot of companies right now, what they're starting to do is they're starting to hold on to cash. They're holding on to cash because they're thinking, you know what? In the next couple years, if we can weather this storm with our cash holdings, we can get back into expanding businesses at lower rates. Why do companies want to use these lower rates rather than cash? They're using the cash as a buffer to save their butts. When a business expands, you don't expand with your own money. You expand with someone else's money. You take a loan. That way you can write the notes out for 5 years, 10 years. Sometimes you can even renegotiate those notes as well. So why are they cash strong and not spending? Because rates are too high and they're waiting for the Fed to start turning down the valve. Now, Robert Melvin said that'd be a good thing if they did convert them. More housing is needed. And that's the big problem. Is affordable housing just isn't there. And when affordable housing is not there, and for all y'all that are parents, okay, you know what I'm talking about here with the kids, right? They eat the 5 bowls of cereal a day, couple gallons of milk. You know the deal, right? Oh, CPI data. Let's come out. I was talking. Let's see what CPI comes out. Okay. Let's see here. Give me a second. All right. Here we go. In January, the consumer... Oh, this is not good. Oh, this is not juicy. Okay, here we go. 3.1. 3.1, definitely not what we needed. Came in at 3.1. Let's take a look and let's read what they said. I guarantee you they're going to be talking about housing. Here we go. And here, let's do this real quick. Let me get rid of me on the screen here. That way you guys... Oh, hey, now, you want to see... You don't want to see... You want me gone. Okay, here we go. Here we go. The consumer price index for all urban consumers increased 0.3% in January. That is not good. After rising 0.2% in December, the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics reported over the last 12 months, the all items index increased 3.1%. Oh, bad. I almost said a bad word, everyone. Simone, everyone who's watching and listening, this is what we did not want. The index for shelter continued to rise in January, increasing 0.6% and contributing to over 2/3 of the monthly all items increase. Housing is not going down. So when housing doesn't go down, they're going to leave rates higher for longer. That is not good at all. This is the last frickin' thing that we wanted to see. Let's go back. Let me take a quick drink here to support my throat a little bit. All right, index for shelter continued to rise in January, increasing 0.6% and contributing to over 2/3 of the monthly all items increase. The food index increased 0.4% in January as the food at home index, the food away from home index also increased. Yes, energy index fell 0.9%, but guess what? Housing and food is still up way too high. Oh, this is not what we wanted. This is definitely not what we wanted. I was really hoping for something in the 2s, but that did not happen. Ian Yeager says, why does no one discuss XDC? The volume around XDC and the availability of it just isn't there. There's not a lot of juicy places to buy XDC. And when there's not a lot of juicy places to buy XDC, you're going to have people that are going to stick with their exchanges that they like to buy their goodies from and not move around from there. So once XDC gets listed by more places, you could see obviously the price action go up more. But also, if they were to be listed by more places, XDC could really see a positive move, especially if you get like a big listing. Simone says, oof, that hurt. That is exactly right. That is a big problem. And the problem is housing. But let's dig deeper. Let's take a look at stuff right now. Okay, let's go to food and see. Look at food away from home. Okay, so restaurants, stuff like that. Okay, way high. For those of you that travel a lot for work, I did a little bit of traveling here recently. Yes, food away from home is still way too freaking high. And remember, if all these things are just way too high, what does that mean? We don't have as much money in crypto available for crypto, right? If we're spending extra on our houses, guess what's happening? We're going to be what, everyone? We're going to be spending less on crypto. We're going to be spending less on a whole bunch of stuff. Discretionary spending goes down. So food away from home, freaking through the roof. Here we go. Non-alcoholic beverages, drinks are still up. We look at this. Dairy is pulled back and meat is pulled back. That's a good sign. One of the ones I know we want to look at too is we also want to look at vehicles, okay? Tobacco, look at that, the sin tax, man. This is crazy. Sin tax action. Tobacco and smoking products up 7.4%. Medical care up. We all know that. Alcohol is up. Now look, used cars and trucks. That bubble broke months and months ago, but new vehicles are still up 0.7%. Used cars, yes, that market is broken, luckily, but man. Energy commodities. Fuel oil is down, gasoline is down, still higher than it should be. Let's go to energy services real quick. Electricity is up, natural gas is down. Let's go to your comments here because I'm reading some good ones. Willie says, my son and wife, 80K, saved to buy a home in Ontario. Good credit rating. Don't qualify for a home mortgage. Home prices are out of control. Willie, it's true, man. It's seriously messed up, Willie. Housing is not getting better. It's about supply and demand, man. And that's where I think a lot of us are sitting here going, okay. So the UK is having some financial problems. They're having some spending issues. The United States Senate is like, yo, we don't have spending problems because we got the U.S. taxpayer to flip our bill. They're like, we'll just spend another $95 billion. Yet we can't get affordable frickin' housing. And we can't get enough housing. Like, so out here, when you have places that are going up for rent, there's a ton of people applying for it. And the rent is through the roof. I was talking to Trick about this as well. There is so many people looking for housing, and yet guess what, everyone? Yeah. It ain't going down. So we're spending more. The supply just isn't going up. So yeah, Willie, I get it, man. I get it. Housing is staying high, and as long as housing stays high, the consumer market just does not have that power anymore. And it's not just home prices. Here, I've got the rent chart up on screen. This is the 12-month percent change, okay, for rent. Miami, Fort Lauderdale, rent up 10% in 1 year. Look at all these Cali, San Diego, Riverside, San Bernardino, Atlanta, my region out here, up 7.1%. Ben Q says, corporate takeover of the rental market is soul crushing. Ben, you know who's causing this problem? It's private equity groups, man. So what happened was these private equity groups, and y'all are seriously having like awesome comments. We are learning so much. The reason private equity groups are the problem is because they got tons of money during these low rate times right here, okay? They just loaded up on cash. Now they're spending the cash. Private equity groups probably have about 4 to 5 months of money at this cheap rate left. And then they're going to start spending money in this rate, which is not good because that means they're not going to spend much at all. So these private equity groups, what they're doing is this. They're going in and they're paying for houses, condos, multi-unit buildings. They're paying in cash. Like paying in cash, they're avoiding high interest rates, okay? These high rates, which means what? They're saving money and then they start screwing people over by increasing rent in that area. Private equity groups, man, have been the problem. So Ben Q, I have to make sure I say the right Ben, not Ben R, Ben Q. Ben Q, you are totally right, man. It's private equity groups are what's destroying this right now. And until private equity groups run out of this cheap cash, which like I said, should be done this summer. They should run out of that money this summer. Then housing can get better. Here's the issue. Those private equity groups and venture capitalists like money to be cheap. That's when they invest more in crypto and so forth. So again, we need these rates to go down. Too Damn Dangerous says going down. And that's what I was afraid of. I was afraid of if we had another CPI data, and I said it at the beginning, something with a 3, the market's going to be pissed. So tomorrow, what is going to be the first thing I do? The first thing I do tomorrow is I'm going to go to my CME group data screens, and I'm going to see if we pivoted more. Okay? Did we pivot more? March, it ain't going to happen. It is not going to happen. Plain and simple. Okay? March contract, I get you. You want to be a betting person? I bet on a pause. May contract, I don't know, man. Still up in the air. Not looking good. Ben Q says, I run a small trailer park in Indiana. I get people asking if I want to sell at least every 3 months. And that's the thing, Ben, is those private equity groups, man, they got cash. Now, we're kind of here. I'll share a story with y'all. And it kind of show you kind of like how this is happening here, okay? So we bought our house, what, 4 or 5 years ago, something like that, okay? Bought our house, paid for it, no big deal. My wife and I have been talking about maybe getting another house, maybe buying even more land, maybe buying like an additional one, maybe even just selling this one and maybe getting like a huge acreage, put a couple homes on there, you know, so the kids can move in with us, you know, that kind of thing, right? We could sell our house, we'd make good money on it because we bought it before the market went up. But there's no freaking inventory. So even if my wife and I were like, yeah, dude, cool, let's sell our house, we're going to be paying top dollar for like crap inventory. Like, and I don't want that. I want more choices, right? So like if I'm going to buy another house, I want more choices. And you're not getting that now. There's just nothing there in the market. Ben says we're the last non-corporate park within miles. And that's the other thing, Ben, is they've been coming in. They've been buying those trailer parks. They've been buying housing communities, raising the rates and flushing people out. Ben, I'm sure you've seen it because you get people probably all the time asking if you have anything available because it's getting so expensive everywhere else. Willie says he's in Newmarket, nothing under 1 million. Canadian market, where's the Rev, man? I seen the Rev in the chats. Rev is out here. Rev and I talk about this too, how in Canada housing is freaking insane. So it's not just crypto we're talking about now. We're also talking about housing spending. My kids, I've got kids that are young adults, right? Late teens, early 20s. And my kids live out in the Midwest, and they live very rurally, and I really dig it for that. My kids are running into the same problem. There's just shit to pick from, and the shit that is there is super expensive. Massmoon Tozy says, build rural. Exactly. I'm rural. My kids are rural. I will stay rural the rest of my life. Willie says the day of downsizing a home for retirement doesn't exist anymore. Great comment, Willie, because that's what a lot of people used to do. A lot of people used to say, okay, once the kids have moved out, right, we can then sell the bigger home. We can move down into something smaller, save on our utilities, save on all those expenses, have some cash left on the side. You can't do that anymore. Homes are just so expensive, and there's just no freaking inventory. So that means you got anyone that wants to buy a home, there's a lot of competition. Yeah, so Rev's here. Thank you, Rev. But yeah, Robert Melvin and I were talking about housing and just how expensive it was in Canada too. And that's what I mean. Like, this is not just U.S. problem. This is a global problem, all right? Where there's a global housing shortage. And the longer these rates stay where they are, hold on, I will get them. The longer these rates stay high, building developers are not going to build as much. Why? Because their profit margins aren't there. So if they think that just a couple years down the road, rates are going to go down and that's when, you know, like things are going to peak back up, what they're going to do is they're going to sit on their cash. They're going to play very conservative for the next couple years. They're not going to be spending their cash on the market at all. And then they're going to start developing. But the question we have to ask ourselves is this. Look, rates have stayed the same since August of 2023. Okay? 5.25 to 5.50. They've stayed the same now since August of 2023. We could easily see this extended for the year, a whole year out. E says multiple generations rug pulled simultaneously in this cloud system. Clown system, my bad. Yeah, I agree. They're not fixing the problems, and that's why I'm just so upset. You know what I mean? Like I'm upset because we're not fixing these problems. We're spending more money sending it to the Ukraine and Israel, yet we can't even put roofs over the head of people. The UK is in massive financial issues. And again, we can't get affordable housing in the UK. We can't get affordable housing in Canada. Robert Melvin says, we might have to buy commercial and convert it ourselves. Oh my God, Robert Melvin. Okay, here we go. You ready? All right. So I live super rurally. I live Atlanta's like my big city near me, okay? So I live very rurally. Literally right now, if you wanted to, we could take this thing, I don't even have my cam on. Hold on, let me put my cam on so y'all can like at least see the faces that I'm making here, okay? Here we go. Okay, now you can see me. I live very rurally, okay? literally so rural that I could take this thing right here. I could take 4 steps that way to the window. I could point that out the window and I could start just pounding stuff. That's how rural I live. It is gone as far as people looking to buy old Southern churches and convert them into homes. To then go to the city, ask for it to be rezoned for real estate rather than commercial. Okay, that's how we do our zoning out here. I'm telling you, I'm gonna be honest with you, Robert Melvin, Rev. The idea of buying a commercial building and then converting it is honestly something that might be the most affordable way to do it. The only thing is you would have to have zoning change that aspect. Trick says it's bad in Ireland as well. Trick, it's everywhere, man. Like, we don't have enough housing, and the housing we do have is crazy fucking expensive. Crazy expensive. I've always wanted to convert a church too, man. I just would be afraid I'd get struck by lightning or something like that as soon as I, went through the door. Sorry about that. But I've seen it here. Crap homes by me. I mean like crap homes. I mean where you should probably knock that thing down. Crap homes by me on like an acre of land for like $250,000. And I mean like the home should probably be like light a match and burn that bad boy to the ground. Dude, and I'm rural, man. I am rural. You know what we've also noticed too? So when my wife and I go out, right? We got Valentine's Day tomorrow. Everyone knows Valentine's Day, okay? Everyone knows Valentine's Day. Well, my wife and I like to go out, and so when we go out, we have to go in town, or we like to go to our local town. You know how often they're changing our menus out by us? Like, physically changing the menu. The prices are being changed in the menu. You're not seeing as juicy, like, drink deals anymore. You're not seeing any of that stuff. So, like, it's just so expensive. So, even rurally, right? Like, and like I said, I live super rural. We could go shoot stuff out my window right now for fun, and no one would give a crap. Like, dude, I could do some really dumb stuff and no one would care. I live that rural. And the problem is we used to think of, you could flee to rural areas, okay, to save money. Now, I don't even know if that's possible. It's very, very expensive. Trick says a lot of churches in the UK have been turned into homes. Yeah, Trick, I think it's a good idea, man. Take some existing commercial real estate, which really sucks, and convert it. All right? And convert it. Simone says, ignore the financial issues at home and engage in war games overseas. Very, very bad. Simone, I'm with you, man. When I saw this $95.3 billion aid package, and look, it's both sides of the aisle. They passed the vote a 70-29. So you had Dems and Republicans there, both saying let's spend more money. But we're not doing anything here. And y'all are frustrated, okay? Y'all are frustrated, and so am I, okay? Like, seriously, and that's the big problem. Chris B says, morning, Chris. We were just talking about Canadian real estate being expensive. Glad you joined us. Party Pete says, if you converted a church, why is it still out of business? Then question mark, I also do understand the growth period that box is necessary to bless somebody else, but not necessarily a 1C. Commercial real estate. Thank you very much for that. So how it works out by here, you do have to have stuff rezoned. You do. You have to have stuff rezoned in order to get your occupancy permit. We saw that out here. We actually had a property out here that was a single family home that they demolished, and they converted it into multiple units, and their process took them almost a year to do, to get that reconverted out here. So it takes time. Carrie Trotter chiming in the house, and thank you, channel members. Carrie Trotter says, I'm a general contractor in Destin, Florida, and to rezone commercial to residential or multifamily takes 6 months to a year minimum. Then you can begin design construction of affordable housing. Carrie, that's exactly the point I was just making, is it's there, those opportunities are there, but you need to have so much capital that you can stay in your own place, start building a plan that's a year plus out, and then be able to take advantage of it. Trick says the price of wood is crazy. Yeah, dude, it's wood, it's copper, it's electrical supplies are nuts. I was looking at some stuff, so I got doggies, you guys all know that. Well, my doggies are The Crips would make great basements. That was dirty. That was dirty, man. That was really, really dirty. But we like you, Syrian. That was funny. I like that. I like that humor. But my wife and I were looking at stuff. A little Home Depot action. Dude, it's crazy. Building materials, you know, appliances. It's nuts. Trick says we need a revolution. Trick, I'm a big history person. And do you remember the French Revolution, right? The aristocratic revolt, or the revolt of the aristocratic society. That is big. But can you get that now? I mean, like, seriously, can you get a revolt now when people are just shoveling so much crap? I mean, think about it, right? You still got people out there saying, oh, XRP is going to go to $5 in 5 days. And people believe it. So, like, if the government is shilling them lies, do you think they're going to look through those lies? No. Think about all the people. And look, I'm going to say something here, and maybe some people are going to be pissed watching this. But I've learned I just got to be me, and y'all like me for being me, so I'm not going to not be me. All right, swear warning. If you don't like swearing, earmuff it. If you've got kids with earmuff it, I'm giving you a warning right now. Swear warning. Don't say you haven't been warned. I don't give a fuck about the Ukraine or Israel. I could give two fucking shits. Not that, like, I don't care about the people there and the bad thing that happens. I do not want my money to go to Israel or Ukraine. I want my money to fix rent, housing, food, stuff like that. Come on now. Like, seriously, why? Like, how many of you out there, right? And because remember, these politicians are supposed to vote the way they represent their constituents. Do that many of you out there support sending money for Ukraine and Israel? Like, come on, man. Like, seriously, that's what pisses me the fuck off. I don't fucking care. Is it bad what's happening in Israel, Gaza, Russia, Ukraine? Yeah, of course it's bad. It ain't my fucking problem. I can't, as a United States citizen, I cannot afford to send $95.3 billion of money, which is at a freakishly high rate. Because remember, this money that we're borrowing on is we're borrowing at crazy high rates. And remember, U.S. credit got downgraded, so we pay even more interest. We do not have the money to send shit overseas when we're having such massive problems here. And I know, okay? I get it. I understand some people are going to be like, Klaus, but the people in Israel, Gaza, Ukraine, they all need help. You're right, they do need help. But you can't help other people if you yourself aren't good. You know how, like when planes have problems, right? And what's the first thing they tell you when a plane has, like you're flying a commercial, right? You and I are flying a commercial plane, right? Once we hit some bad shit, what is the first thing they tell you? Put the mask on yourself first and then help other people. How can you be a mom, take care of kids if you don't take care of yourself first? Right? Think of a mom who's pregnant. What does that mom have to do? She has to eat. She has to take care of herself to then take care of the baby. That's what we have here in the United States. We have to take care of ourselves first before we take care of other nations. I mean, and I get it. I know that sounds really harsh. And I know people hearing, dude, you don't want to help out Ukraine? You don't want to help out Israel? Not with my money right now. It's too expensive. We have bigger problems here. We want to help the Ukraine. We want to help Israel. Yet I can walk down the road in major cities out here and see homeless all over the place. I can see people 3-4 families deep living in a house meant for one family, but they're doing it because they can't afford it. Family first, then the rest can be sorted. You're damn straight. You take care of your own backyard first. And once your own backyard is solid and stable and strong, you can then help other people. How can you help other people if you yourself are not in good shape? If you're not in good financial shape? If you're not good at any of that? Edwin says, ask the government to buy all the XRP and escrow 50 cents to make it $2,000 a price. Debt is converted by our government. You're always going to have debt. You can't, debt will just get pushed to somewhere else. It's like mortgage-backed securities, okay? They're just going to repackage the shit and send it to someone else. War is great for the 1%ers. Yeah, Syrian, I don't know how old you are. Yeah, the homeless have cookies. I like that. Thank you, Rep. I don't know how old you are, but the joke used to be, if you ever want your economy to boom, start a war. That was the joke. Okay? That was the joke. All right? Now, I don't know, man. Now you're right, the one percenters. Joshua Sansa says, Texas has arrived. Family always first. Good morning. Happy vibes. Yeah, but Edwin, just because the balance sheet is fixed doesn't mean the problem is fixed, okay? That's called corporate whack-a-mole, okay? I've seen that game played a lot of times. What they do is they move things from bucket to bucket to hide it, but the bucket's still there. You're still holding hot potato. And that's what got us in this problem in the first place, was crypto hot potato started by Luna. So Joshua says, Texas has arrived, family first. Same thing, right? Like, Texas is sitting here, and again, okay, I did a lot of work in Mexico. I've done corporate stuff in Mexico. I've got quite a few friends that are Mexican background, quite a few colleagues that are still living in Mexico, and we talk about this often. Texas has to secure itself first before it can even take care of its own people. Yet we keep flooding it with more people. So again, take care of yourself first, and then what? Okay, and then what? Oh, dude, Ben Q with the good one. Ben Q says 3 red cups and the ball is the debt. Exactly true. You could shuffle those cups around, right? But dude, the debt is still there. Is it under this cup? No. We made that report look good, but it's over here. These 2 reports look like shit. Then when we shuffle them again, it's like, oh, what about this one? Nope, this now report looks good. Oh, the rest of them look like shit. CPI came out. CPI was not good. I got it right here. Came out at 3.1. Syrian says, I'm retired. Call. So Syrian, you know exactly what I'm talking about then, okay? You know about the narrative where, hey, if you want an economy to boom, you blow stuff up and then you rebuild it. Trick said it. Trick said war equals rebuilding. Exactly. It's messed up, man. It is messed up. So you have to take care of yourself here first at home before you start going elsewhere. And this is what pisses me off, all right? I'm going to go on a little mini rant here. Y'all can say whatever you want to say, you know what I mean? Check this out, all right? The Senate's approval of the measure on a 70-29 vote comes at a critical moment for Ukraine, which has been running short of supplies and manpower after a failed counteroffensive against Russia last year. 22 Republicans joined almost all Democrats in supporting the bill. So wait a minute. How many of you out there support sending more money to Ukraine? See, these people aren't even voting the way that we want them to. They're supposed to represent us. They're supposed to represent their constituents, their districts, and they're not. Trick says, who forgot to buy a Valentine's Day card? Oh, Trick, you're in trouble. You better do more than a card, my good man. You better go out and have some fun. Willie says, and who's going to pay for Ukraine to rebuild itself after the conflict ends? Dude, seriously, good point, Willie, and that's the whole thing. So then we're going to throw more money at it. So when we throw more money at it, we're going to throw more money at it at a higher rate. So now your interest payments are going to be more than what your actual principal is on the debt by a freakish margin. The United States government is essentially flipped. That is it. Plain and simple. Melv said, I'll laser her something special later. Dude, just make sure the metal is cold to the touch before you hand it to her. Otherwise, she's going to know you are faking the funk. Like how I did that, Reverend Funky. Great job I did there. Yeah, please make sure you buy a Valentine's Day card at the minimum for your significant other tomorrow. Come on now. Come on now. But this is the issue. Rates are staying high for longer. The market, whatever. The market's going to move sideways now for the majority of it. Why? Because what, everyone? Rates are staying higher for longer. You've got winners out there like Caspa that's moving. Check it out. I've got that compared to XLM XRP. Massive movement. Caspa making some massive movement. Zoom it into the 6 month and you can see that chart still holds true. Last 6 months, XRP, XLM down 16%, Caspa up 220. There are moves out there to be made. Diversification is the key, and not falling for BS narratives is going to be the key as well.
hey, just saying, says people gonna pay, government gonna take the credit, and that's the whole thing. So how do we win this? Vote every fucker out. Doesn't matter if they're Democrat or Republican. You just keep voting them out. You don't do a good job, I'll vote you out. Don't do a good job, vote. After a few election cycles of holding people accountable, you can make change. The problem is, though, is the majority of people vote down the line. They go, yo, I'm Republican, vote all Republican. Maybe the Republicans aren't doing a good job. Maybe they're like, I'm Democrat, vote all Democrat. Maybe the Democrats aren't doing a good. They just vote like that. I grew up in Chicago, repping the White Sox, right? Part of the Democratic machine. Chicago is broke AF. Chicago is, I love the city, but it is broke AF. Massive problems. Dealers everywhere. It is really shady in Chicago, okay? But yet they still keep voting for Democratic mayors. That's what I'm saying. So Trick, you said this earlier, that we need a revolution, right? I think we do, because voting ain't going to work. Because the American public and public out there keeps voting these fucking losers in. And all they're going to do is keep sending more billions to the Ukraine. Meanwhile, what if we took 30 billion of that and made affordable, rent-controlled, multi-unit family buildings? Oh my God, we could help people here in the United States and make it rent-controlled and find a way to help pay off governmental debt by having it owned by the government. Oh my God, that'd be so crazy. Oh my God, why can't we do that? Syrian says BlackRock had big interest in Ukraine and rebuilding. Yes, they did. Follow the money, my gal. Good job. Oh, God, is this frustrating, man. This is seriously so frustrating to watch the economy just do what it did. Now, I said earlier that you wanted XRP, XLM. The market was not going to be happy with anything in the 3 range, and we got a 3.1. Look at XLM. Look at XRP. Both going down on that announcement. There you go. Ben says if we funded our border like we're funding Ukraine's border, it would be interesting. Dude, that's the other thing. That's the other thing. Like the border mess. All the illegals coming. Dude, I've got tons of friends that aren't legal. Tons of them. Like, tons of them. And I don't really give a shit. Like, that doesn't bother me. But now when you start talking about, like, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands and millions and millions and millions and millions and millions flooding into cities that are already financially strapped, that's a problem. Because they're not getting the proper care either. Some of these people that are going to the border, they're just shipping them to random cities. You know how messed up that? Could you imagine that? Could you imagine if you or I were like, you know what? Our country sucks ass. Let's go somewhere else for some relief. So we do. Let's say we go somewhere. Let's say we go to Mexico. And they're like, all right, cool. You got it to the border. We're going to ship you off and we're going to send you to somewhere fucking random. That'd be messed up. It's a very messed up situation. E says people are in a hurry to spend on made-to-break crap because their money will be worth 5% less next month anyways. Yeah, that's the other thing. Nothing is made with quality anymore. We're in that consumer-based cycle where we just need to keep spending, and it's so damaging, man. So damaging. TG's got a comment. I'm going to read this comment here. TG's got a comment, and I'm doing it without glasses, so give me some props for that. I got to let my eyes focus because, like, I'm not as youthful as I used to be. TG says, voting doesn't matter. Democrats and Republicans are like offense and defense of a football team. Different sides, same team. Yeah, and the whole thing is they all just try to screw us all over. Right? I mean, okay. I'm a big Cannabis fan. I like Cannabis. Why hasn't Biden gone out there and decriminalized it? Why haven't the Democrats decriminalized it when Obama was in control when they talked about it? Why? Because they just string us along. They use us for votes and money. Oh, what about Patrick McHenry? What about that fucking loser? What did he say in the video? He said, I'm upset with Gary Gensler because the last 2 years we haven't gotten any proper responses to the request that we sent him. Well, no shit, dumbass, because he knows you're not going to hold him accountable. Because Gensler's like, oh, okay, cool. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? I mean, are you going to subpoena me? No, you're not. So McHenry's out there, right, flexing his muscles like, don't make me be the first person to subpoena you, and he didn't. Meanwhile, McHenry is not going to be running anymore. He's going to private sector. Ugh. What a mess. Robert Melvin says, everything is built to break these days. Just look at dollar stores. Yeah, it's all plastic, dude. It's all plastic, man. Like, nothing's real anymore. It's crazy. Chris B says, Klaus, did you hear about the new law in Mexico to ban open pit mining? This will affect silver supply. No, I did not hear about that, Chris B. Let me get my marker out and make a note here. Hold on. I wanna research that. Mexico open pit action. Okay, let me research that. I got some Mexico open pit. Oh God. Trick saying, I'm with you there, Klaus. Let's sow and grow. And that's the thing. Like, we can fix so many of these problems if our elected officials just did the right thing, but they're not, man. They're not. Mr. B23 Brandon, I like that. I love how everyone is so fearful of the word socialism when capitalism is just socialism for corporate America. We all share in the losses, but never their gains. What we have in the United States is not capitalism. What we have in the United States is greed. See, capitalism works without the improper or unjust interference of governments. True capitalism is you and I having the control to say, we're not going to support that business and we're not going to spend there, so they're going to go down. But now this business over here, we are going to support them. But what's happening is the government is kind of intermingling with this, screwing up some of the rules and so forth, and making it messy for us. That's not true capitalism. That's cronyism. I mean, come on now. What about Pelosi? Did you guys see that Pelosi was up? Hold on, I got it on my phone, okay? Hold on. Let me read you a Pelosi tweet. Give me a second here, okay? I got a Pelosi tweet, all right? And this is going to tell you exactly what the problem is. Give me a second here. Okay, here we go. This is from Unusual Whale, okay? This is the Twitter account. And I've got it on my phone right here, in case you can't see it, okay? And it says, if you want to follow Nancy Pelosi's portfolio or any politicians while they trade, you can do so easily. Nancy Pelosi's portfolio is up 83.45%. This year alone, her positions have made her over $3 million in gains. That is not capitalism. That is cronyism. Simone says, I totally understand your frustration. You're absolutely right. And Simone, I do. I like to take care of people. Y'all know I love rescuing dogs. We got 3 dog rescues. We got 3 rescues that are dogs, or 3 dogs that are rescues. Love taking care of people. Okay? My kids live early. Love taking care of my kids. But you got to take care of yourself first. Like, if your support structure needs to be built on solid ground before you allow others to build on you. And we're not doing that right now. The collector said, I had 120,000 XLM. I got proof SDF kept dumping XLM on us, so the price never going up, going down. I lost money on crypto, but the TCGs, I seen gains. And that's that's the whole thing. Everyone dumps on the market, okay? I did a video out there, and you guys are going to laugh, okay? No one watched the video. They killed it, all right? They killed it. It was this video right here. It says, girls don't poop. Okay? The video is called Girls Don't Poop. And essentially what it is when I was younger, I used to pretend that girls didn't poop. I was like, oh, that's gross. Girls don't do that. Girls are like pretty and dainty and you know what I mean? We got to put them on a pedestal, so girls don't poop, right? But we all know girls poop, right? Well, we all know that the majority of these crypto companies dump on the market. We all know that the majority of these crypto companies here, what everyone? They take from their uncirculating supply and have to move it into the circulating supply. So everyone dumps. Everyone poops, right? That's why I called it Girls Don't Poop. Seriously, check out the video. It is eye-opening, all right? The YouTube algorithm completely blocked it. What's up, Nair? I see you. Nair says, good morning, Klaus. Good morning back to you. So what happens is everyone poops. The question is, though, is how are they using that money effectively, right? Does SDF dump on the market? You bet your butt. You bet your butt. Does Ripple dump on the market? You bet your butt. What about Sandbox? Sandbox dumps on the market. You bet your butt. Aptos does. You bet your butt. but it's how are they using those funds. See, the United States government dumps on us, right? They just print more money, right? They just go money printer, go burr, right? They add more to the circulating supply. Now, if the United States government was maybe using our money effectively, would we be as pissed that they were pooping on us? No. If all of a sudden I woke up this morning and I saw, wait a minute, they just spent $95 billion to make housing more affordable. Oh, okay. I'll golf clap the U.S. government because they're using the circulating supply to things that I would believe in. Now, if they're going to spend $95.3 billion on Ukraine and Israel and shit, like, I don't know. I don't care. So everyone dumps, okay? And that's why I did that video. Everyone poops. The question is, though, are they using the food and fuel correctly when they dump on you? Is SDF using those lumens correctly? Right? Is Ripple using the XRP correctly in your opinion? What about my Sandbox fans? I know I got some Sandbox fans in the house. Robert Melvin says they don't fart either. That's exactly my point. Is everyone does it. We like to pretend that they don't, just like a lot of people like to pretend that XRP doesn't dump on retail. Or Ripple doesn't dump on retail. Well, guess what? They sell to primary. And how do you think primary makes the money? They got to sell to someone, which would be us, right? Everyone poops, man. E says XRP stands for extremely rare pumps. The collector says, I don't like your content. I love it. Well, thank you very much. Chris B says, I think my wife goes poop at the Shell station down the road. No idea. See, that's what I'm saying. Like, everyone does it. Every company out there dumps from uncirculating supply to circulating supply. But are they using your money correctly? What about, seriously, think of your government. What about my UK fans out there? You know? UK fans out there. Do you believe that the UK is using all your tax money correctly? Not a fucking chance, man. Not a chance, dude. Mr. Brandon says public officials should just be paid the median income of their constituency and charged for any activity they do to play in the markets and take bribes. It's public service, not self-service. And Mr. Brandon, you're exactly right. It is self-service, not public service. When people say that, oh, the U.S. is capitalism, no, it's not. It's cronyism. Cronyism. It's very frustrating, everyone. Very, very frustrating. What do you do, man? The only thing you can do is what y'all said earlier, which was what? You have a revolution, which could be messy. I don't think any of us would want that. Because that's no one would want that. Trick, you and I would rather have chill days, right? All Trick and I want, we want chill vibes. Do you want to go through a revolution right now, Trick, at your age? Do I want to go through one right now knowing that I'm about to be a grandfather a second time? Yes, that's right. My daughter is pregnant again. I'm going to be granddad times 2. Awesome. No, we don't want to go through that now. So what's our only choice? Our only choice is to vote these losers out. But the problem is we just keep voting the same types of losers in. They may change their names. They may change their name from Sherman to McHenry. But are they really doing shit for anyone? When we started covering the new session of Congress, okay? When we started covering that new session of Congress, I said, you know what? And I just flipped the heat map to an hour just to show everyone, so don't freak out. But when we started covering the new session of Congress, I said, you know what? I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. I do that with everyone. I give everyone the benefit of the doubt, and you have to keep proving me right. And what happened was McHenry proved me wrong. He didn't hold Gensler accountable. He didn't do any of that shit. So now, would I vote for McHenry again? Not a chance in hell. Yeah, the UK is buying lots of cameras. Syrian, I'm glad you said that. The UK is one of the most heavily surveillanced areas in the world, as a bigger geographical zone. My wife and I were watching one of those, mystery things, the nasty crime mystery things, and they were able to solve the crime by using cameras. I'm trying to think if it was in London or Leeds. I don't remember. I think it was London. The crime happened, and they were able to, they couldn't see the crime happen, but they found the person that left the building, and they used camera after camera after camera after camera to track them all the way backwards, and they kept surveilling them using those cameras. I mean, I don't know. Mr. Brandon says, what are your thoughts on Robert Kennedy Jr.'s We the People Party? I don't have any belief in it whatsoever. I don't have any belief in it whatsoever. And mainly because, think about this. Let's say you get one person in there, okay? Seriously. Okay, you guys want to go in crazy imagination zone? Y'all know pretty much how I feel, okay? What if I were to be running for president, right? And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to fix government spending. You know what? SEC, if you want money, you have to prove to me that you're going to use it correctly. No more money goes over to the Ukraine. No more money goes over to Israel, Gaza. We're going to fix our borders. We're going to fix our healthcare. We're going to fix housing. We're going to fix food. You know what would happen to me? I'd be dead in a week. I would be dead in a week. They would not want that kind of change. Why? Because the establishment is making the money. There was a comment up here. Here. Hey, Justin says, according to Mr. Sherman, the printer goes burr, but it's for the people. And that's an extreme lie. We know money printer goes burr, but it doesn't go burr for the people. It goes burr for the Pelosi's of the world, the McHenrys of the world, the Bidens of the world, the Trumps of the... It goes burr for those big players out there, not for us. So even if you do get someone that wants to bring in change, the powers that be, the established powers that be, won't let that happen because it screws up their pocketbook. I mean, we're kind of screwed. And that's what bothers me. And Trick, that's where I kind of like go back to the idea of revolution versus voting people out, because I don't think we're going to be able to vote people out. But I don't want to go through a revolution. Thank you very much, Nair. Nair says, have a great day, everyone. Thank you for the chat, Klaus Peace. Nair, thank you very much for joining, hanging out with us. We don't need that. We just need more financial responsibility. Okay, for the fans that are across the pond, if I throw some verbiage out that doesn't fit, just please help me out. There's a phrase that we use here in the West, all right, and it's about financial responsibility, being fiscally responsible, and doing what's right with money. Okay, we don't see that in the government. The government pisses money away left and right, man. Left and right. We as the taxpayer just have to pay more taxes, dude. That's what it is. It's just legit what it is. So money printer go burr for the rich. Who benefits? The rich. The Pelosi's of the world. That's what's messed up. Mario Gomez Cortez says, from Wall Street to crypto, ETFs like BTCs. Yeah, it's totally true, man. Those players are there. Now, is the market happy about what happened today? Hell freaking no. And I told everyone that would happen. I told everyone, I said, if we get a report in the 3.0s, you can go back to the beginning of the live stream if you want. If we get a report in the 3.0s or higher, we are screwed. Well, guess what XLM said? Klaus, we were listening to you. Didn't go so well. XRP, same thing. Did not go so well. Moving on down. Why? Because money is going to stay expensive for longer. Why? Because guess what, everyone? Housing is going to be expensive for longer. If housing is expensive, everything is expensive. And check it out. The index for shelter continued to rise in January, increasing 0.6% and contributing to over 2/3 of the monthly all-item increase. Housing is out of control, and our governments aren't doing shit about it. So we suffer. We suffer. So, we don't want a revolution now. A lot of us don't want that messiness. Trick, you don't want that. I don't want it. We just want to chill out, man. We just want to hang out in the man cave. We just want to hang out on the back deck. Hopefully you love the pictures I've been sending you, Trick, right? We just want to hang out on the back deck. We want to chill out. We want chill vibes. We don't want to go through a revolution right now. But man, at the rate they're going, they are melting us financially and screwing us over worse and worse and worse. Oh, man. Now, what about all those channels out there that said, moon, 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 we're going to the moon, we're going to the moon? Come on now. Come on now. We're not going to go to the moon if rent and housing is staying freakishly high. We're not going to go to the moon when Fed fund rates across the globe are freakishly high. We're not going to go to the moon when, what everyone? When people dump on us and we don't believe they're using the money correctly. Okay, here we go. XRP fans that are in the house. You ready? I need your help, XRP fan. If you're an XRP fan, I'm going to need you to comment here, so listen up. When Ripple got clarity from Torres about secondary sales not being a security, that essentially said that XRP, once it's out of primary sales, is safe for the rest of the market to play. Why didn't then Ripple support XRP holders by adding it to the liquidity hub? It's already past secondary. Shit, you're at like tertiary, quaternary right now. Why didn't they do it? And that goes back to my point. Are people using the funds correctly? SDF. Okay, let's do this. Let's go to Twitter. Okay, let's look at Stellar. Okay. What are they doing? They're going to Africa. Tune in as we discuss Stellar ecosystem and meetups happening in Africa. Africa, get ready. SDF is here. You got fourth quarter report. I mean, okay, cool. Are they using the money correctly? That's the whole thing. Are they using money correctly? If they're not, then guess what? Everyone poops. But are you getting anything out of it? Trick says, I refuse to suffer. No way, life is too short. And Trick, that I'm in the same boat with you, man. We don't want that kind of shit. So when people talk about like they want a new financial system, they want things to crush and fall, they don't realize how painful that would be. You do not want to go through that. You do not want to go through that. Grimalga says, I think it's a while yet for XP XLM may go first. Wish I was behind closed doors for some meetings we know took place. The problem is, though, Graham, is that like other players in the space are making moves, man. Other players in the space are making way big moves. Soon Crypto says, are your pictures on the wall upside down? Yes, they are upside down. I've been screwing with my pictures to see if anyone has noticed. E says, all those cryptos going to Africa to feed the villages. And that's my whole thing. So now what? Stellar's going to tap Africa for their piggy bank? Dude, do something that like people can use, man. Like seriously, and that's my whole point. Everyone dumps on the market. Everyone does. Okay? Here, join Denell Dixon and the team in Ghana. Okay? Join them in Nigeria, Nairobi, Kenya. They're using XLM to do this. Do you believe that is a good usage of XLM? And that's the whole point. Everyone dumps. You know? Gramaga says, so Ripple has plans. The institutions all have plans. Still seem hollow, not filled with use. If they don't get to adoption, then DSMN. But I'm confident the stablecoin bridge. That's the whole thing. How long are we going to wait where we're like, oh, bro, we're waiting for utility. We're waiting for adoption. Dude, this is crypto, man. Crypto, if you're not adopted right away with the products you launch in crypto, you are old. Oh, I got one for you. Here's one. You remember how Lightmint was kicking ass for Stellar? You guys remember that? Stellar ecosystem, Lightmint. Check it out. Look how bad this is now. Let's see. Live auctions. Right? These are auctions happening right now on Lightmint. You ready? We're going to go to these auctions. Give it a second. Let it open up. We're going to go to the auctions. Here you go. These are all the auctions. Check it out. No bids on any of them. Not a single freaking bid. I mean, so that's my point. Like, you want adoption? Dude, Lightmint's an awesome freaking platform. Lightmint is easy to use, but guess what? No one is buying from it anymore. The majority of people that used Lightmint have now moved to other platforms because there's more buyers there. Oh, hey, this one's got a bid for 125 XLM. That one does too. The majority of them don't. That's a problem. That is a big, big problem. Last Chance says, I'm waiting on U.S. regulation. What is U.S. regulation going to do? Like, seriously, what is regulation going to do? You've got the Democrats in control of the presidency and the Senate. And the Democrats are anti-crypto. What is regulation going to do? Banks can buy XLM and XRP. Banks can buy crypto right now. MicroStrategies buys crypto. Tesla owns crypto. They own some Doge, a little bit of BTC. Anyone can own crypto. You just have to put it on your books as an asset or a liability, depending on how you're writing it down or up. Secondary sales are safe. Ownership of crypto. Anyone, any bank right now can buy crypto. Any bank in the United States can buy crypto. They just have to list it on their asset sheet. And they also have to make sure that the funds that they use aren't federally tied funds. They can buy it. But they're not. And that's the thing. They're not. So when it comes to adoption, I don't know why people are like, oh, we're waiting for adoption. How long are you going to wait? The tech is there. Okay, think about this, right? Stellar is an open source chain, which means you or I could literally copy the code, make our own chain, and call it whatever we want. We could call it Klaus Chain. Does that sound like a competitive product? I mean, like, that's messed up, man. True says millennials already can't afford children. Trust me, I know. My daughter, early 20s, pregnant right now with the second grandchild. Dude, it's tough for them. It is tough for them. They're going to be a 4-person family. It's going to be very tough for them. Last chance, it has nothing to do with regs, man. It has nothing to do with regs. It says companies won't touch crypto without regs. Okay. You sure about that? Because last time I checked, MicroStrategy owns billions. They own several billion. Elon owns Doge. Elon has Doge on the books of his companies. Companies can buy crypto. They're not, though. They're choosing not to. Soon Crypto says it's the very early days for crypto. No. False. You cannot say that. Stop that. You want to know what the early days of crypto were? 2018 to 2020, before the masses got into it. Then the masses got into it here in 2021 and 2022 and were like, yo, girlfriend, this shit ain't for us. And they got out. So that's where the big problem comes in. Everyone's saying, well, we're waiting for regs. You don't need regs to buy crypto now as a business. You could put it on your books right now. If you want to move money with XRP, you can do it right now. People aren't. Oh, we're waiting for adoption. Bro, this shit came out in 2018. What are we, 6 years later? You don't wait 6 years for adoption. It either happens right away or it doesn't. Right? Crypto had this thing, okay? Crypto had this thing. And it was this exploratory phase, okay? And it happened in 2020, 2021, 2022, where like the whole world got into crypto, right? Then a shitload of people left. They're like, it's not worth it, my guy. So don't sit here and don't say it's very early for crypto. No, early was this discovery phase. All right, here, we're past that. Now we're into everyone knows about crypto, but people don't want to use it. We have speculators, yeah, but not a lot of people using it. Oh, people are waiting for legalization of crypto. No, you can put it on your books right now. MicroStrategy has tons of Bitcoin. MicroStrategy sells their own stocks to buy more Bitcoin to pump up their price of their own stocks. Tesla accepts Doge as payment. Is there a regulation out there that says Doge is okay? They're accepting it. Secondary is okay. Dude, I don't know, man. You can't say early. It's not early if we've been doing this for 6+ years. Saying that something is early is giving them a free pass. Okay, hold up. Crispy and everyone else out there that thinks we're early, are you ready for this? All right. Change the word Ripple, change the word Stellar, XRP, XLM with the United States government. What if I told you the same government has been in power since 2017, just like crypto, and I said 6 years later, we still suck. 6 years later, we still suck. Are we going to say, whoa, bro, it's early for these politicians. They need time to make changes? No. That's giving someone a pass if you say early. You and your wife are married. Let's say you've been married for 6 years. Well, it's going to get better. No, you fix it right away. Stop saying we're early when we're not. Early 2017 to 2020 before the public got in. Tara Bespence says it took 20 years for the TV to become mainstream, 15 years for the internet to become popular. Yeah, do you know why TV took so long to be popular? Because of how expensive it was. XRP, XLM are not expensive, are they? 51 cents for XRP, XLM's at 11 cents. So the reason why TV was expensive, it was cost prohibitive. Crypto is not cost prohibitive right now. It said, hey, it took 15 years for the internet to be adopted to people. Why? Because it was expensive. You needed a dial-up modem. You needed an internet service. Now, the internet is available to anyone. If something happens right now in the crypto market, news spreads around the globe within seconds. Everything moves faster now. So don't give crypto a pass because it's been there for 6 years. That's messed up. So for everyone saying crypto is early, you need to start holding people accountable. You need to start setting higher standards. You need to start saying, you know what? This has been going on for 6 years and this is bullshit. All I've heard is partnerships this, partnerships that. Oh, Ripple's going to do. No one's using this shit. No one is using it. Oh, but bro, adoption. And I'm not ripping on people, but what I'm trying to tell you is stop accepting poor performance and fucking fight back. Bro, the company I work for has been treating me like shit for 6 years, but they're a brand new company. They're still early in the game. They're learning how to run it. Fuck off. You don't treat me good right away. You are gone. I am gone. Crypto being around for 6 years is like 100 freaking years in regular time. Crypto is about juicy tech. If people out there wanted to save money and they would have done it, man. Last Chance says interoperability between blockchains needs improvement. Very true. Bridges and smart contracts are still getting hacked way too often. But bro, 6 years. Come on now. 6 years, you better start holding these fuckers more accountable or else they're just going to burn your money. If you're an XLM holder and you're like, yo, it's cool you're going to Accra, Ghana, Lagos, Nigeria, Nairobi, Kenya. That's awesome. But guess what? It ain't doing shit for the price of what you invested in. You put your hard-earned money into it, and now what? So, I mean, come on, man. It's not good. It's just... Okay, we're not early in crypto. If people say you're waiting for adoption, you're settling. It's bullshit. If you were a company and you had this massive technology that you launched 6 years ago, you launched this technology and you're still like, hey, anyone want to use my shit? Hey, anyone, and it's 6 years have passed and no one's using your shit. It's not because of adoption. It's not because people don't know about it. It's because people don't want to use it. Look, we had a big boom in 2020 to 2022. At that time, the world was exposed to crypto. I was covering crypto during that time. And I can tell you, there were shitloads of articles that came out. And those articles that came out were like, only 18% of the population has ever heard of crypto. Only 15% of the population has ever used crypto. It was now everyone knows crypto. Everyone knows crypto. So if everyone knows about it, how come no one's buying into it? Because it didn't work right for them. It didn't fill the need that they had. 6 years is a long time. None of you out there, seriously, would you work for a company for 6 years that treated you like shit? Would you stay with a spouse for 6 years that treated you like shit, going, well, she's early at being a wife. She's going to get better. Don't worry. No. Expect better results and hold people accountable. If my kids made the same mistake 6 years in a fucking row, then who's failing? Me as a parent, because I'm allowing them to make the same mistake over and over and over. But if after 1 year I step in and say, yo, kids, that ain't working, you need to fix X, Y, and Z, and they do, well, guess what? My kids then are improving. We are not holding SDF, nor are we holding Ripple responsible. Bro, it's early. Everyone knows that XRP, what it can do. And I love XRP. I just think the company behind it is screwing people over. Chris says, everyone knows BTC is not crypto. Then what do you say about all the payments in Doge? What about all the companies that have ETH on their books? A ton of companies are using ETH on their books right now. That's what I'm saying. Like, stop sitting there and defending piss poor performance. All right? It's just, Willie says if XRP is a big nothing by 2024, I'm out. I think it says 2024. Sorry, there's like a heart in the way. So like the heart is blocking that. So yeah, 2025. There we go. 2025. You got it, my guy. All right, that's the deal. I mean, seriously, like, could you imagine working for a company and you're like, yeah, we launched this product 6 years ago, but no one's using it. Dude, you know what the CEOs of that company and the execs of that company are going to be like? We're going to fire everyone until we get the results we need. That's what we need to start doing. We need to hold people accountable. Last chance says governments around the world got to agree on anything as possible. Got to put the pressure until the switching is a good idea. We just need better performance, everyone. But we're not getting that. Why? Because we've got government spending billions, not fixing problems that are in the states. Rent is out of control. Housing is out of control. Everything is out of freaking control. CPI numbers aren't looking good. CPI numbers sent crypto down. There you go. If people wonder if macros are a big deal, you ever wonder why I cover macros so hard? You ever wonder why I sound so much passion right now? Is because macros rule the roost. And when this report came out that said CPI sucked ass and housing was expensive, cryptos went down. Down, down, down. Chris B says, I love piss poor performance apparently. No, dude, it's just, you got to remember, man, like I am like a perfectionist at heart. I am. And that's why I did so good at my job. That's why I was able to chill out with my job. Because I did not give excuses. Things had to be perfect or they were fixed. End of story. Any team that I had working under me, for me, with me, knew exactly that. They knew my expectations about perfection. And that's what we're looking at right now. Trick says, I'm off to get a card and some chocolates. Have a great day. Trick, my guy. Chocolate, cards, maybe a dinner out, like something cool. Like maybe like a little schmancy fancy dinner. That'd be kind of cool, Trick. Trick, you have a good day, sir. Appreciate all the support. E says, I just hope the XRP army holds something else. Y'all are missing a massive run. It's messed up, man. It is messed up. So this is what we're going to do. I got quite a few things to tag out this morning. We're going to end the stream at 9:45. Let me put that down in the chat. Give me a second here. We're going to end the stream at 9:45. So you got about 7 more minutes. 9:45. Whoa, daddy. Let me fix something here. Hold on a second here. We're going to end the stream. Whoa, what is going on? Sorry, it's a little dark over here. Where's my number thing? There we go. Sorry. We're going to end the stream at 9:45, so you got about 7 minutes or so to get your comments in. 9:45 Eastern Time, stream ends. There we go. So yeah, I think that's kind of where we're all at right now. If you believe in the long term of these projects, then right now you're looking at this going, dude, we've got good buying. Right? I mean, seriously, you are. You're looking at this going, we got good buying opportunities. So I think it all comes down to what do you want and what your expectations are. Can you tolerate poor performance for a few more years? Because think about it. As long as the Fed fund rate stays way high, development and use of XLM and XRP is going to be minimal. They're too tied to macros. They're way too closely tied to macros, man. Ben Q says, glad to catch your stream this morning. Hope you have a good rest of your day, Klaus. Thank you so much, sir. E says, inflation up. Let's see if BTC is a hedge against inflation again. Well, BTC is 49,000. It has clawed its way back. Trick is saying, my guy, I love the greenage. Thank you very much for that, Trick. We all got you on that. I just think that we got to hold people accountable. I mean, like, okay, so like, you know how Ben earlier said, what about Caspa? Well, like, compare Caspa to XRP and XLM. They made the move. They're up 200% in the last 6 months. XRP and XLM both down about 17%. That's not good. Simone says, thanks so much, Klaus. It's super refreshing to hear someone who's realistic about crypto every day. Love the live streams. Have a great day. Simone, every time I have a stream, I know I'm going to get a good question from you that's going to spark good conversation. I cannot say thank you enough, Simone, for that because it seriously helps out greatly. You have amazing questions, Simone. You've got a really good head on your shoulders, gal. Like you, Simone, you got your head on straight. I respect you. Syrian says, thank you, Klaus. Peace all. Robert Melvin says, hit the like button on the way out for the rest of your day. Remember, Valentine's Day is tomorrow, everyone. Please do not forget your significant other. That would be bad. And remember, right? You want to talk about adoption. What about Aqua? How about all those people that bought Aqua? Are we still waiting for adoption on Aqua? The thing's a dead turd, man. Hold people accountable to their performance. Willie says restaurants are too expensive now. Cook your wife a nice dinner. Go get some steaks. You know, maybe some T-bone, you know. That might not be bad. Get yourself some T-bone, maybe some crab cakes, you know, a little deep fryage action. And do something nice for your chick. Because they're here to back us up every day. So we got to make sure that we take care of them too. Willie says, cheers. Thank you, Klaus. Melvin is giving Simone a big shout out. Yeah, everyone gives Simone a big shout out. She's got some legit comments. Whenever Simone says something, I always listen because she does. She's got a legit head on her shoulders. And I like that. So Simone, seriously, thank you so much for that. Last chance says XRP Lifer, fly high or crash. Dude, as long as you have a plan, I'm with you. But just remember, you got to hold people accountable for that plan. Chris says stronghold. Got a lot of people. A lot of people saying stronghold. This stuff we got to pay attention to, everyone. We got to make sure that we are holding people accountable. Because guess what? We're not holding the Senate accountable because they're just sending money all over the damn place. You know, the UK, like I said, having some major problems here financially as well. We're not holding our people accountable. Vote them all out. Vote them all out. You don't like the price performance of XRP and XLM? Send a message to Ripple. See if they respond to you. I doubt it, but see. It's sad because I think a lot of people are being taken advantage of. And the performance has been bad. And when everyone out there is talking about moon, just remember Crypto with Klaus and how nasty the market reacted to CPI data that completely sucked. So when they keep telling you, oh, we're gonna moon, you know what you should say to them? You mean we're gonna moon when the Fed fund rate goes down? Yeah, exactly, everyone. All right, I'm going to play some tunes, say hello to everyone in the chat. Make sure you all say goodbye to everyone in the chat because chat on this channel is legit AF. Thank you so much to everyone that donated and supported the channel. Thank you, everyone, for the comments, likes. It has been a blessing. If you don't mind, hit that like button on the way out. And please make sure to say goodbye to your other friends in chat. I'm going to play some tunes and hang out in chat for a few minutes. Catch you cool cats later today.
You whip up my appetite. Don't leave me high and dry.
Later, everyone. I gotta go train and make the rest of the day happen. Y'all stay safe, and I love you much. Soon Crypto says, buy the dip, and make sure you buy your significant other something special for Valentine's Day. Make that special guy or gal in your life feel loved.